Hello. So, I don't know what she's doing. I don't know. So hello, whoever's in the room. How are you going? Some people. Yeah, no. Hold on. A lot of people do compared to. So yeah, guys. I was just thinking of what I was going to say to you guys there. So how do I make this video interesting? What story can I take up today? Yeah, just to let you know, if you're ever in the police cell, never cave or crack. At the end of the day, it's always better to be in a police cell than an actual prison cell, if you know what I mean. So don't crack. You know, it's not over yet. Listen to what your lawyer says. Be wary of what your lawyer says, because sometimes they give bad advice, but be wary of your situation and try and think about it. Try and think about the best course of action, because it is dangerous. You know, you're in a police cell and you're accused of a crime, right? So it's quite a thing, right? You know, criminal records are quite a big deal. So just remember, like, never sign a caution, right? I got offered a caution 3 times and I never caved in. And I was pretty much blackmailed. I was told, you know, if you sign this, it will all go away, which was blackmail, really. And then I didn't sign it, and then I was let go anyway. On one occasion where I was eventually convicted, but then I pretty much got the same punishment as I would if I'd have just signed a caution. So there's no point signing a caution, and I never have. And I encourage you guys also to never sign a police caution in the police station. If they're making you sign a police caution, it's either they don't have, number one, they don't have enough evidence, or number two, they have kind of shoddy evidence and they know you'll pretty much be getting a caution if convicted anyway. So I think it's just easier for you to accept the caution. Because they'll never offer you a caution for a serious offence anyway, right? And they will never ever offer you a caution if they got everything they need on you to send you to prison. Not to prison, to court or whatever, right? Magistrates. So never sign a caution. You're better off just saying nothing in the police station, and then if you're released to later attend the station or to later attend the courts, get some legal advice, sit down with a lawyer and actually see where you're really at, because the police are never going to tell you where you're at. The police withhold evidence until court, until they have to give you the evidence, but they withhold evidence because they don't want you to know how much or how little they have, basically, right? So when they do send you to court, you're going to get everything, not just the little bit they told you at the station. They're going to actually they're going to have to give you everything they're going to use in court. So therefore you're in a much better position to make a better call. And you can always do a guilty plea later, but I would even recommend not doing that for most cases, don't I? Again, I was blackmailed with guilt. I was given a piece of paper after my charge and said, and it said on the piece of paper, it just gave statistics of prisoners getting less sentence when they plead guilty. So they were basically trying to suggest that I basically sending this piece of paper to try and get people to be quite to try and make people plead guilty, basically. It's just a sheet. It wasn't any blackmail on the sheet of paper. It just said on the sheet of paper, it just had statistics of people getting lesser sentences if they pleaded guilty. And of course they want basically saying plead guilty. So I would rather you just plead guilty, of course. Means that they don't have to go to court, and that means that they get an arrest statistic, a successful conviction, without even doing any work. And of course, if you weren't going to get convicted, or they get conviction when maybe you wouldn't have had a conviction. You see what I'm saying? So anyway, that's a little boring thing for you. So I want to give you some kind of, I suppose, entertainment or something while I'm filming this. So yeah, never sign a caution. Never. If you plead guilty, consult your lawyer big time. Look up the laws and stuff. Don't plead guilty in the station, whatever you do. You can plead guilty after the police interview and stuff. You can plead guilty at the court when you go for your hearing, if you decide and your lawyer decides that's the best thing for you to do. But don't do it at the station. Don't let these guys put pressure on you. If you get pressured by police officers to sign a caution or to plead guilty at the station, then quite frankly, so if a police officer manages to convince you, to persuade you to sign a caution or to plead guilty at the station, then you need to have a look at yourself, 'cause it shouldn't be easy for people to persuade you like that. This is your life, and they do use little tactics. They say things like, if you just sign this caution, this will all go away. That's a line they like to use. This will just all go away. Sign a caution and this will go away, and that'll be the end of the matter. Or plead guilty and this will just all go away, and that's the end of the matter. This is what they say, but don't do it. You've got plenty of time to decide if you want to plead guilty at a later date. Do you understand, viewers? So there's no point to plead guilty at the station, or caution. Luckily, I never accepted it. Even when one of my lawyers says, yeah, you might as well just accept this caution, I said no. No chance. So he says, well, so you go to prison. And I says, hey, I say, even if I got life in prison, I ain't going to sign nothing. And guess what? On that occasion, when I left the station, I got a no further action. A no further action. And if I had signed the caution, I would have had a criminal record. Joe Public, caution stationary record, and like what they tell you. Yeah, that's another thing, viewers. They tell you, another little tactic they use is they say, oh, it's just a caution, it won't go on your CRB. It does go on your CRB. Of course it does. What would be a point of having a caution if it didn't go on your CRB, right? So they do tell lies as well. So take everything the police say with a pinch of salt. Do not listen to anything they say. The only thing you want to be doing is saying nothing in the interview room. Just say nothing at the station, because they can also take what you say outside of the interview room as evidence as well, by the way. So just shut your mouth, and then when you get out of the police station, you can do a lot of studying, you can consult lawyers and all that, and you're going to get a much better picture of where you're actually at, and you're going to get full disclosure from the police as well. So you're going to have a whole picture in front of you, instead of just a very small picture that the police are giving you that benefits them, aka prosecution, right? So that's my boring advice to you, but it's crucial, I'd say. I have heard of guys accepting cautions and stuff, which I think is ridiculous. Even me, on my first ever arrest, and I was arrested for a very serious offence. I was no further actioned at the end. A very serious offence, blackmail I was arrested for, which is like something like 6 years in prison, minimum 3 years. And I was accepted. I was given an option of a caution, and I said no way. Even though they'll blackmail and say, well, this will just all go away if you accept the caution. I say no way. I don't care if I go to prison for life. I'm not accepting that caution. And therefore I didn't accept it, and guess what? I got no further action at the end because they had no evidence. So this is what these people are like, and you have to be on your, just do not give in to them. Joe Public says, I always get full disclosure from the CPS before court. Yeah, of course. Yeah, so when I say get full disclosure from the police, I mean the CPS, and because the CPS, ask the CPS everything they got and what they're taking you to court with it. Sometimes they will refuse, the CPS will be difficult, and then you go to the judge, you get a hearing with the judge and tell them I haven't got such and such evidence. And they're actually, the judges, one thing they are good at is making them give you what they're supposed to give you. They're not good at anything else, but they're good at that. And yeah, make sure you do that and get everything they're going to use in court and study it. And obviously when I say get everything from police, I don't mean get everything from, don't ask the custody sergeant, don't ask the police officer interviewing you. Take out everything they say with a pinch of salt, ignore all of their crap. Just get what they're actually going to use in court, because that is what they have on you. Right, never. And what else can I say? Yeah, just do that. Thanks for the like, guys. Thanks for the views, or your attendance in the room, the live room. So yeah, just don't be pressured by these people. Don't be. If you've never been arrested before, so how do I explain it? You're it's a dingy cell. It's made like that. It's not. There's no colours. There's no. They may call it a custody suite, but it isn't at all. Believe me, it's not a hotel. Okay, it's a dingy cell, small dingy cell with a still small toilet in the corner of the room, which you don't want to use because there's cameras in your cell, by the way. So you're a small little cell, no colours. You're in a cell. Interview room, there's absolutely no distractions whatsoever. So it's a grim, kind of psychologically grim place, probably for a reason. For that reason, they don't want you to feel that you're on holiday. It's a psychological grim place. So understand that it's so psychologically, it probably is will be getting on your nerves. You'll probably be like, I just want to get out of here. But do not allow those feelings to ever allow you to sign a caution or to be pressured in any way. like I've heard some people, that's happened to some people, which is really unfortunate. Do not be pressured by these idiots. Just stay calm, okay? It's not a nice experience. Boo-hoo, okay? What really matters, it's a hell of a lot better than going to prison, right? And that's the only thing you have to worry about. It's when you get out of the cell, then you can do your studying and stuff. Or if you're getting sent to the court straight away the next day, then you can listen to what they have to do in court, right? What did Joe Public say here? Guilty before proven innocent. Yeah, unfortunately that is the case, really. I mean, they say innocent until proven guilty, but I don't know. I mean, the problem is once you're in court, you've kind of got that dark shadow around you anyway, haven't you? It's like, well, what, you must be in court for something kind of attitude people have, haven't they? And that's another thing. That's why the police play such a bad part in society. They bring anything, many petty crimes or crimes that have very little evidence, and they just gamble and put them in front of a judge and gamble. At the end of the day, it's all on the taxpayers' money at the end of the day, isn't it? So they don't care. And and sometimes it's just a game of luck, isn't it, really? And the police are asking for powers to basically take over all prosecutions, so it means they decide what goes to court or not, which I think is an awful decision if that ever gets made. They can take some things to court, petty stuff, but only the CPS can take the serious stuff. But if the police take over that role, oh my god, they're going to get people in court for the most littlest of evidence and stuff all the time. It's going to be horrendous. We mustn't allow that. I mean, if there's petitions or whatever to sign, we must sign those, because the police will just send everyone to court, basically. It's a mess, isn't it, fellas? The police, they're just a mess. They're just unbelievable. I'll probably go in a bit. I mean, I'll do a little bit more, but it's just this. Just be careful if you ever in contact. Always film the police if you ever get stopped by the police, interviewed, whatever. Always try and film the police. I know when you're arrested you can't. How long were you inside? Well, I was all occasions a long time. I mean, I was inside one occasion for 12 hours, and I think the other two occasions I was in for 8 hours. Luckily I was only successfully convicted only for one thing. The other two I was no further action, and obviously the thing I was convicted for was that ridiculous supermarket queue thing, which is absolute setup, and I should never have been convicted. But yeah, I got no further action on all the other ones. I sued for one of them, unsuccessfully sued for the other one because I didn't have it was just out of date, because there's actually date time windows on suing, so you only have a certain amount of time, and that was my first arrest, so I left that one kind of late. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, I'll take you around for a walk around here. So yeah, I was so it's a long time in cells, and yeah, it's like I said, don't allow the cells to bring you down to a point where you want to then no, I couldn't compel, because I didn't even get a jury trial because it was a so-called petty offence. You can't really appeal. Well, I did appeal, but I couldn't get a jury trial, so I went in front of two magistrates who, amazingly, they actually at the end ended up saying, you may have not pushed past them in the interview room, in the supermarket queue, but you've been filming them in the past, so you're quite, that's provocative, which is unbelievable. So he's basically just said, you didn't do anything wrong, but you in the past filmed them, so I'm going to convict you today. Then I had a judge. When I had an appeal, I just had a judge and two magistrates, and I got convicted again. But I didn't have a jury trial. If I had a jury trial, I would have got convicted. In fact, the lawyer basically told me as much. He goes, my God, if you could only get a jury trial, this would be, know, they wouldn't even took it to court. But you can't get a jury trial for common assault. You see what I'm saying? You can't get a jury trial for that. You can't get a jury trial. So you couldn't get a. If I'd had a jury trial, it would have been fine, you know. That's all double cover. Right, mate. Did you take a picture of me? Okay, that guy took a picture of me, and he's supposed to inform me. And then he ran off like a little girl. I was going to approach him, and then he just sneaks off like a little girl. Like, yeah, they're corrupt. Complete setup. Yep, they're corrupt. They can do what they like. So he's just took a picture of me, and which is actually against GDPR. But there you go. You're supposed to inform people if you take a picture. If you're on duty and you take a picture of someone, you're supposed to inform that somebody. And so that's the that's how they're all about. So there you go. Oh Jesus, stay there. Yeah, so do you know what I mean? That's how the cookie crumbles. So because I'm trying to fiddle my zoom here. It keeps on cutting. The zoom's not good on this phone. It's really crap, I tell you. So yeah, take you for another walk. I know the camera's terrible, but listen, guys, I'm getting a better phone, better camera equipment, and all that kind of stuff, all right? So it's all going to be better. So just give me a couple of months, maybe longer, to buy better camera equipment, and I'll have better video quality coming up, right? Until then, you're stuck with shite, basically. So that's how it is. Yeah, they're not saying anything except, I mean, it's not a pass. I know these auditor guys, they say, I'm just going to put the camera down because there's some non-police people walking past. I don't know, there's no point filming them. So what I was going to say, yeah, so what I was talking about there. Yeah, so it's a fail. I know auditors say it's a fail or pass. Well, it's been a fail today because that guy took a picture of me and he didn't inform me. So, and I think, you know, I know he was off duty, but he wasn't really, because he was entering work, and he needs to tell you if he's going to use that footage for any reason. But anyway, there's no point complaining about that because nothing's going to happen. No. So yeah, if you guys want to ask anything or post an experience about yourselves or not, you're not obliged to do it either. If you just want to watch, that's fine. By the way, there's loads of bumblebees here all the time. I've been stung by a few last time I was here. This tree's horrible for there's loads of bumblebees here, my god, or wasps or whatever. Absolutely chock-a-block with them. God. Oh, they all like their sunglasses at the moment. Interesting. Actually, I must get a pair of sunglasses. Actually, it is hot weather. Actually, isn't it? It's it's quite. Just to let you guys know, this is the surroundings. That's it. So I don't know if any of you guys are interested in looking at Southampton, but there you go. That's a bit of it. Down there is the train station. So I'll zoom into that if you guys are interested. Yeah, down there is the train station, and then you got all that. You know, town is behind me. So yeah, it's not a bad city. It's got its ups and downs like everywhere. All right, yeah. Definitely sunglasses weather. I must go to Specsavers and get a pair at some point. It's only going to get hotter, isn't it? Don't know if you guys noticed, but there seems to be a decline in auditing at the moment, isn't there? From other channels, I've noticed. Seems to be a decline. Oh yeah, and by the way, that guy, I don't know, the guy who took a photo of me walking in the door there, he said before he rushed off, because I was walked towards him to have a conversation, and he obviously ran off like a little girl, but he before he ran off, he says, get a proper job. Well, first of all, this isn't a job, you know. If he had said get a proper hobby, then okay, I'll give him that, right? But this is not a job yet. I'm hoping to make this a job. I'm hoping to make AdSense money, 1,000 a month or something. That'd be good. But it isn't a job yet. So, and I'd rather do anything, even a garbage collection, than police officer than you, personally. But anyway. So yeah, what else is there to say? Yeah, so this is Southampton Central, fellas, and this is a custody centre. So if you're arrested in Southampton, this is where you'll be going. So if you're ever arrested, you'll be going that direction. So they'll go up the ramp with a van, and then you'll be booked up the top. You'll be going into like a custody suite, as they call it. Yeah. But yeah, they certainly don't leave no chocolate bits of mint chocolates on your pillow in a prison cell. In fact, you don't even have a pillow in a prison cell. So don't be conned by the word suite, custody suite. It's a dingy, small cell that smells like piss, and I'm guessing because, you know, the night before they arrested a load of drunks, and they don't bother cleaning the cells, I suppose, afterwards. So you're just, and even the mattress smells like pee, so you don't even want to sit on the mattress in there. So that's what it's like to be in the cell. If any of you guys are interested, try to avoid it. There's no point. So before you get in the cell, you get in front of a custody sergeant, and then you're booked in. You're booked into your luxurious suite, and you can. They have 24 hours in which they can keep you. So yeah, so it can be any time they let you out. They usually let you out before that, obviously, but there's no. What I will say is no set limit. There's no set limit unless it's past 24 hours. So do not be shocked if you're in even if it's a petty crime, if you're still in that cell for like after 8 hours. Don't be surprised or shocked. It's just the way it is. They have a 24-hour time limit for you, and so therefore they can keep you, if they really want to do, they could keep you for 24 hours. They usually don't, but they usually keep you, I'd say a rough estimate, 8 hours if it's a petty crime. If it's more serious, then who knows. If it's very serious, they can get it extended, but I think it takes a superintendent, I'm not quite sure, but it takes a certain rank to authorise that. So, and of course, if it's a really serious thing like terrorism, then you could be staying there for 7 days, right? You've then got that limit to keep you before they charge you. But if they don't get it extended, then they only have 24 hours. And if they can't charge you, then they have to release you. And they may do that either no further action or on bail, which means you may have to attend at a later date. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So I thought I'd leave you that, just a little story or whatever, or just a bit of discussion. And I'm probably gonna go now, fellas. Thank you for tuning in. I'm very grateful for you tuning in, and I will see you some other time. And like I said, stick with this channel. It's only going to get better. It's going to be better video quality and better camera equipment for it. All right. Take care, fellas. Thank you for tuning in, or ladies as well. Thanks for tuning in.